Okay, cool. So we're gonna be doing a VOD review today. Let's check the matchups quickly. So basically it is Plat 2 and Gold 5 versus last season Gold 2. Cool. So we're going to be focusing on mostly Janna this repo. Janna opting for the exhaust style, which is it's okay if you're not planning to play aggressive in the lane, which is understandable seeing as it's Janna Tristana versus Twitch Leona. The thing about this matchup is that Leona is going to be wanting to try to play aggressive and get as many picks as you can. Janna's basically, her focus needs to be just on purely peeling for the AD carry with the tornado, so basically only using tornado when Janna looks to E in, else potentially just Wing, poking Leona out whenever she can freely without taking like return damage. Okay, cool. So blue side opting to just go for the defensive start with the standing the tri brush, which is fine. Or weak starting top side. Something you guys could do is basically both just walk up to their buff and water so that you know which side of the jungle that they'll be starting on, so you don't get cheesed. Also, you just need to be careful if you don't do that. It's good that you're covering the tri brush though, because it's quite a common place for Leona to be trapping level 1. Okay, so straight off the bat, you guys have opted to immediately go to lane and basically show which side of the jungle your jungler is starting, because you guys could have waited here basically until your top laner goes to top, and basically that prevents them from realizing that your jungler started top side, which is going to be quite massive. I mean, it's acceptable not to do that if you're going to be going for this level 2 shove. So let's just see how you play out this lane. Okay, so you're in for a bit of a cheeky face check here. The thing is, there's actually no reason for you to be walking into this brush like this. You should be just immediately going with the AD carry and shoving this lane to try to get to level 2 as quickly as possible. Like, it's very unlikely that they are choosing this brush, but there's still potential for it to happen, so that's an unnecessary risk, especially because you don't get anything out of walking into that brush, and this is like that 1 in 10 time like that you actually get punished for it. Okay, so you've opted for an E start. I'm not too sure why you didn't use your shield in yourself, or maybe you did, wasn't paying attention. Okay, so like I was saying before, you need to be shoving for level 2, especially in this matchup, because if they get level 2 before you, as a Leona, she's immediately going to EQ onto you or the AD carry. So what this means is that you need to be constantly hitting the wave with your AD carry to prevent them from getting it before you. Like, look where you're standing right now, this doesn't make sense in this. Because I mean, if you pretend there's like almost like a circle around each of you, and that's your potential zone. So as long as like you and your AD carry zones are overlapping, that's good. That means if they try to engage and you both can retaliate. But if you're standing behind like this and then he's here, if Twitch was to walk up or something and trade with Tristan, or Leona goes aggressive, you can't really do much by standing here. So you need to either be trying to stand in line with her or slightly ahead of it, safe to do so. But you standing behind basically relieves no pressure from the AD carry, so it's very easy for them to pressure your AD carry off the CS or take easy trades. So this is a bit better that you're starting to step forward. So like right here, you should be autoing the minions that she's not hitting. Okay, so if you didn't know already, you get level 2 bot lane off of the second wave's first 3 minions, so like now both the first 3 minions of the second wave on both sides have died, so you guys are all level 2 at the moment. Leona didn't go aggressive despite getting the level 2 earlier, which is really bad from her. She should be doing that. Again, you're standing behind your AD carry, which doesn't really make sense. Okay, so like the only acceptable time to be standing behind your AD carry like this is if you think Leona's going to be going forward and you're going to line up a tornado to counter her engage. But looking where she stands, you don't need to be here. You could be stepping forward here. If she steps forward, you step either across to your Tristana or behind her so that you can queue through and cancel the engage. You opted for a W start second. You can't be doing that in this matchup. Like, into Leona as Janna, you can even consider taking a tornado level 1, but that's not really required seeing as majority of Leonas won't start E. But yeah, you need to be rushing at level 2 so that you can get the Q, because now if Leona was to engage in this matchup, then there's nothing that you can do about it besides shielding your AD carry, and that's still going to make you guys lose the trade. I suppose if you were to cancel her engage with your Q, and then your AD carry can free hit the Leona. Okay, so right here, I think you're gonna go to go hop your Sejuani, which is okay. The thing is though, your pathing is a bit questionable, because by doing this, you're basically leaving Tristana by herself. So Leona can straight up just walk here, EQ the Tristana, and Tristana does have a W, so is it not the worst thing, but still, you'd rather walk like this with your AD carry because it's safer. See, like right now, she's gonna get zoned out, so basically it's gonna be a 2v. A 2v3 if they were to move up, because Tristana is going to be forced to go this way or commit with a jump, which is not likely. But by walking up like this, then you two could have basically helped the Sejuani into a 3v3 opposed to a 2v3, but the thing is you haven't started Q either, so walking this way is risky as well. So Sedge is safe. You're walking with Sedge to get vision, that's fine. Sedge is backing out. Okay, so basically what's just happened now, because you left like that, Tristana's gotten solo experience, and you've basically missed on a couple of minions, so you gotta be aware of the fact that they're gonna hit level 3 before you do. Like, your AD carry will get level 3, but they'll get level 3 before you do, so if they like notice the fact that you left and missed these few minions with the experience, Leona's gonna step forward and go play aggressive, and especially seeing as that you haven't taken your Q yet, she's gonna be able to punish you guys quite hard. Okay, so right here, in my opinion, it's not efficient to walk up for you guys to walk up here and try pressure them on the turret, especially seeing as you know that Warwick is bottom side. You guys can't be stepping up this far. You shouldn't go past like this point here. What you guys should do in this case is you and Tristana basically just walk up here, and you walk here, you place your trinket, either you or Tristana places the trinket here, so it covers vision of this entrance as well as here. You hit the popcorn, and if the side thing is here, you hit the side thing so it reveals their camp, so you can work out where Warwick is. But by you guys stepping forward like this, that means Warwick could have walked down like this and basically been here, and then you guys are stuck here, and he commits, Leona commits to one of you, most likely you, because Tristana has a jump. Tristana gets out, but you have to either burn flash, or worst case scenario, you burn flash and die. But it's not worth the risk, especially that you know Warwick's bot side. Okay, so I like that you guys aren't actually stepping forward, that's good, but as I said before, just go get that vision down. Okay, so that shield wasn't really necessary. The thing about Janna at the moment is the fact that they nerfed her shield quite hard. The level 1's got a 17-second cooldown, which is huge. So you really need to be more decisive when you use that shield, like only when it's actually going to be efficient. Because now basically you've opened up a window where Leona can go aggressive and you have no shield, which is not the best thing. And the higher elo you get, the more they're going to punish you for this kind of mistake. Like, it did negate the poison and stuff, but now if she engages you, you don't have the shield for the Tristana to get the extra AD as well. Okay, so Warwick's mid. So whenever you think or you have the idea to go for a ward, which is good, I mean, there's two things that you're making a mistake of. So the first one is the fact that we just saw that Warwick's in mid lane, so there's no reason for you to be placing this ward here, it's just inefficient. And the second one is that I hope that you've communicated with your AD carry that you're going to go for this ward, because if you leave and the owner sees you leave, she's going to immediately step forward and go on your AD carry, and your AD carry is going to get chunked, which is not a good thing. So yeah, just keep in mind when you go for a ward, check on the minimap, have you seen where Warwick is? Do you know if he's top side or he's bottom side? And the other thing is, if his mid laner like mid, is there actually a point of putting this ward here at this point, or is it just going to be inefficient? So if you see that they are middle and you have the idea to go ward, look for the jungler, see where he is, and then think to yourself whether it's necessary to ward you or whether you can ward at a slightly later time and get more out of your ward. It's all about being as efficient as possible. Yeah, so Warwick's just staying top. Again, you're standing very defensively behind your AD carry. This isn't like the whole idea of support is to try and relieve pressure from the AD carry so that he can CS or she can CS as pressurelessly, so she can miss less CS as possible. This Leona doesn't seem like she knows what he's doing, or he, she. Yeah, again, see, like, the thing is, with you standing here, if Leona was good, she's just gonna straight up walk here and EQ onto you because there's no way for you to stop the Leona with your tornado. That's why you either need to be standing right behind her or next to her here so that you can Q across or Q through her if the Leona was to engage, but you standing here doesn't help. And the thing is about this matchup is that it is actually sort of in your favor to the fact that Leona can't reasonably engage. It basically requires you to mess up for Leona to be able to pull off an engage. So yeah, again, standing back here. See, like there, if Leona was better, she would have just straight up walked up a few seconds earlier and just EQ'd onto the Tristana, but she's boosted, so... Okay, cool. So I like this. Basically, Leona's just used your E combo and missed it, so this basically creates a window for you guys to punish them. So it's good to step forward, poke them freely. Just don't step too close to Leona so she can't stun you. Like that. That was a mistake. So you want to try to keep as much distance between you two as you possibly can if you're going to go for that, because there's no way for Leona to stun you guys. Or like, there should be no way for Leona to stun you unless she burns her flash, which will be incredibly inefficient. Okay, so as a result of you stepping too far forward to get that poke down, you had to burn your flash and heal as well. So now Leona, being aware of this, should be playing a lot more aggressive. She shouldn't be standing here, she should straight up just walk up and zone the Tristana. Tristana shouldn't be allowed to hit that. Or we're getting first blood in top lane. Cool, so you've seen that, so you don't need a ward for the next like minute or so. Maybe 40 seconds. Yeah, so like in this situation it's not too bad to be playing defensive like this, but again you need to be standing slightly closer to your AD carry in case Leona does go for the EQ, because like if Leona was to step forward your E onto Tristana, assuming Tristana didn't get a jump off, which is like you shouldn't rely on that jump to disengage, like if you were to try and basically Q her, it's gonna stop Leona if it does even stop her, like right in front of Tristana, and at that point Leona's gonna get a stun off anyway, so it's not gonna be efficient. So you need to be standing slightly closer like here, so that if you Q through to stop the Leona, it'll stop her before she reaches the Tristana. Okay, so right now, this is... Okay. Okay, so basically, we need that Warwick was topside, so you guys are backing, so that's fine, you don't need a ward. Okay, so the thing is, you guys opted to stay here, you need to be getting this ward. Like, this would be the time where that ward should have been placed, like here. But it's going to be on cooldown now because you used that ward earlier. So just looking at the CS, you guys are probably... Actually, you guys do have enough for BF sword. You probably just want to stay so that you can try to get the last shove before them. Okay, so with certain junglers as a support, you need to be aware of the fact that they can actually solo drag. This includes champions like Warwick, Shyvana, Nunu, and basically they like to solo the dragon around level 4 to level 5, so you need to be aware like 5 to 6 minutes that you need to start warding this dragon pit just to stop them from doing that. Either get a ward down here or like that ward here or something so you can see them going to the pit. And that's pretty massive, especially because like if they pick up something like a fire drag, that can affect every lane and that can be pretty much game changing. So I like that you went to go ward now, but as I said before, you could have warded slightly earlier because Warwick could have been bottom. So now because their junglers doing drag, basically their bot lane should be playing forward and trying to apply pressure so that you guys don't shove the wave and go ward the drag. Like, I mean, on champions like Janna, where you play incredibly passive and stuff, or try to at least, like, you need to be concentrating on other aspects of the game that you can be helping your team with. For example, trying to track the jungler, noticing when mid lane or top lane disappears so you can ping missing so no one gets cut off, stuff like that basically. And then even if you feel cheeky, go for those summoner timers. Like, if you're going to be playing a lot of a champion like Janna or Soraka or something, that's what you need to be focusing on, the other aspects that you can help your team where you're not, because like you can't necessarily play aggressive, especially if you're going to go for the shield max Janna, not W max. So use all this free time to concentrate on that kind of thing. Pretty standard stuff. Both bot lanes just seem to be scaling. Like, the thing is, with your matchup, this is actually in your favor where you guys just got even, because Leona does fall off. She's meant to be an early game pressure powerhouse champion, and Janna scales really hard as well as Tristana. So Twitch and Tristana will both be really strong late game, which is fine. Okay, so you guys have a ward on Warwick. I like that you guys pinged the fact that he's there. I hope that was you pinging it. Excuse me. So this means it's a green light for Sejuani to come for this gank. Basically, how this gank can work out, you basically want to be trying to get a tornado, or you either can try preemptively tornado one of them if they're standing in an easy tornado position like this, because there's no way for him to really juke other than left, so you put the tornado like there, or you wait for Sejuani to come in and commit with the Q ult, then you follow up with the tornado, whichever is more realistic. And just looking at the positioning now, I think that Tristana is going to go for sort of like a jump on whoever you guys focus. So you're stepping forward, so suddenly okay, so yeah, so the thing is, like, the whole game you've been playing behind Tristana almost, and then suddenly you walk forward like this. Like, that's a red flag for them. They should realize, hang on, this is not right. Just Janna suddenly changed her playstyle. We must be getting ganked by Sejuani, as well as the fact that Seju's on the ward. I didn't even notice that. But yeah, so that's the thing. Like, you need to be constantly playing aggressive, even if you're not going for poke, where you stand forward and then back off the whole time, because that way when you step forward, when a jungler comes to gank, they're not going to be aware of it. Cool, you land the W, that's nice, you force the flash. Okay, so here, this is where you charge like a tornado, like that direction, let it go for a bit, because she's going to be slowed, and then basically she'll get to like here and the tornado will knock her up and you can potentially burn her flash. In this team fight, you should have immediately just shielded Tristana for the extra bonus AD, because of the fact that there's no real way for either of them to die, because we know where Warwick is and there's no way that they can 2v3 you guys. Okay, so you guys opted it back after this, which is fine. See the purchases. Yeah, so you went for a Frostfang Ruby Crystal, which is fine. Okay, so you guys do have wards, so you're fine. That's cool. Getting some free damage on the turret, nice. Okay, so the ender disconnected. That's a bit unfortunate. Okay, that tornado wasn't necessarily required. I don't think you shouldn't go for a tornado like that if there's no reason for it. Especially seeing as like Warwick's there, if he was to commit to you guys, then you needed that tornado to disengage, but the fact that you just put it on like, I don't know, 15-second cooldown, let me check, 10-second cooldown, basically just created a window for them. That pink's fine, not necessarily required at this point because you have a ward there already, but and your jungler is topside, so you could have held on to that for a bit longer, but it's not the most, not the biggest mistake. Okay, so like, you see where you're positioning now? This is where you should have been positioning earlier in the laning phase, like the more aggressive, slightly forward next to your AD carry, opposed to behind here. Okay, so yeah, I like that a lot. Basically, this is what you should have done earlier as well. You walk here, you ward that, you hit the plant if it's there, else you step forward and you hit this plant as well, getting vision of their camps. This is the kind of thing that proactive will support, which is very good. Okay, so they pinked that, you're aware of that, don't go for that pink because it's too risky. Okay, so generally, especially at like high elos, the only time that support really is going to pink like a brush like that or like here or something, is because their jungler wants to come bottom for a gank. So you need to be aware of that and play slightly more defensively while that pink's up there. Don't go for the pink, just back off. Play it safe, because unless you see their jungler on somewhere else on the map, don't go for that pink. So let's see, is Warwick going to come through bottom? Oh, he's coming behind you guys. I don't know what this guy is doing. He's going for Scuttle now. Just fine. Okay, so Warwick's managed to get behind you guys, which is quite interesting. Okay, boom, you just saw him on the pink. He's probably going to clear that pink. You guys need to go and try to contest that without them being able to engage on you. You seem to play safe. So basically, in this situation, you can't be using your tornado unless there's 2 disengage. I mean, you have your ulti to cancel the Warwick ulti as well as the Janna E, but you still want to be using your tornado as a disengage tool. So if anything, you just W shield the Tristana, stand slightly behind in case Warwick ultis. Like, it's okay for the Warwick to ulti or the Janna to go on your Tristana as long as you're not the one being hit, because if you're hit, you can't self peel as Janna unless you preload the tornado towards yourself. So like, yeah, like I was saying, if Tristana backs off, you back off, because she needs to be the main focus for them so that you can peel off. But if you get caught, you're just dead 100%. Okay, so like that's what I meant here. This is fine. This is acceptable. You shield her, you just press Q, you cancel the ulti. That's interesting. Leona flashes, gets a stun. Okay, so that tornado wasn't necessary. That tornado should have been a few seconds earlier to cancel the Warwick. Else, if they don't like, excuse me. The thing is, like, okay, if you held the tornado until Leona had E'd you, then you could have cancelled her engage right here, but she missed it anyway. But that's just comes down to mechanical error, which you can't play according to the fact that they're going to mess up. Okay, so right here, if I was you, I would just drop ulti to keep Tristana alive with like very high health so that she can commit to this fight if she needs to, because she's most likely looking to W onto their like low HP enemy targets and basically get a reset or something. Again, hold the tornado until you need to disengage, don't just throw it out randomly. So like here, you could have basically just completely cancelled this. If you queued as he committed and she E'd forward, you could have cancelled the E, could have knocked him here, and then you basically would have been in perfect like triangle position to fight them, because you have your front line here. Okay, so you opted the ult there, which is fine. Like, ideally in a situation, you want to be using your ulti for both the disengage and the heals, not just the heal, but that's situational. So like, again, if Leona E's in or if LeBlanc comes, you basically just bounce them back and get the max, like you get the heal as far as you can feel it's safe to do so. You got caught, which is unlucky. But yeah, that's just how that team fight. You could have played it out just for next time, just keep that in mind. So basically, try to keep your abilities to get the max out of them, so cancelling engages with your Q or your ulti, not just throwing them off randomly in team fights and hoping for the best. Like that I reckon that team fight could have been winnable, or you guys could have just disengaged and not died. Just came down to a few decisions and mechanical errors. Ooh, that was risky. You can't be just checking brushes like that, especially by yourself without AD carry. Like that Q's okay. Like that Q was okay because you almost killed the Warwick. Like the CC would have prevented him from life stealing. Like it's unfortunate you guys didn't get that. Else, if you held it because you know Warwick has ulti and you don't have ultimate at the moment, so then just basically wait until he commits to the ulti and immediately cancel it with your Q. Okay, so just on this join now, you gotta be aware of the fact that their bot lane's rotating behind you guys. Like when you play a champion like Janna that has a disengage or something, you just gotta be aware of what opponents you're playing against and what like abilities you can cancel just to get the max out of your kit. Okay, so you warded there, that's fine, you're rotating up to help. Okay, so basically you guys played too far forward up, not knowing where their bot lane was. Janna and Tristana are focusing Janna and Twitch are focusing Tristana, which is fine. Janna manages to miss E on a stunned target, don't really understand that. Kind of error again, you opt to drop your ulti, which is fine, you're getting the heals. Okay, so that that Q is not necessary. So basically, just Twitch is not in a position where he can go on either of you guys. So what you could have done here is basically just Q towards your AD carry or towards Leona, depending on whether you think she's going to engage on your AD carry again or just back away, as a way just to peel and free hit the Leona. But that Q is not necessary because he's just basically gone back to CSing. So here comes Sedge, so you can play more aggressive. That shield isn't like, I mean, you can't really tell if Tristana is just going to go ham there or not, but try to save the shield for when they actually engage or whether when Tristana gets free hits. Like the most efficient way to use just Janna's shield for damage is to E while the attack is mid-air flying towards the enemy AD carry or support, because the damage is only calculated on the point of impact, not when the damage is casted. And this applies basically to all buffs in terms of damage and stuff. So Lulu shield, what else is there? Ardent Sensor passive, etc. So this is the second drag that they're picking up now, and this can be quite massive, because especially if it's double Infernal or something. So you guys are playing passive like you should have been earlier when you guys got engaged from that brush, but because you don't know where their bot lane is, so you just gotta assume that they're in this brush here and play accordingly. Like something you can do to put, basically if you're here in the wave setting here and you don't know where the bot lane is and you think you're in this brush, what you can do is basically just come here, you charge up your Q towards that brush, and then as the Q, the fully charged up Q goes through the brush, you step forward and you ward it. That way if Leona tries to EQ you or something, or ulti you, the tornado is going to disengage basically and it'll keep you alive. So despite you guys being slightly behind in terms of kills in your team, the bot lane's going like pretty decently. This is what you want. You want it to go even almost, because Leona's going to fall off and you guys are going to be a lot stronger. Actually really like this skin, that fish looks sick. Okay, so you can't really back here if your AD carry is staying. I mean, it's not the worst, but Tristana's basically going to get zoned off CS now. Okay, you DC'd, that makes sense. So you're opting to basically just head topwards, topside, or try to help, but the thing is, you're playing against a support that can basically very easily dive your AD carry under turret. If you prefer like an Alistair, Leona, a Braum, something like that, it's very easy for them to dive like turret because they're very tanky, so this is going to make it incredibly hard for Tristana to keep this turret alive and clear wave. So it's a nice idea that you're going to go help your top lane and your mid lane and jungler and stuff, but your Tristana is not in a position where it's going to be efficient for you to do this, because like if you don't get anything off of this roam, you basically just give up bot turret. So you got to take that into account, and yeah, they just dove him. It's a bit unfortunate. So like yeah, just keep that in mind when you go for roam, that if you don't actually pull something off with that roam, and you need to take into consideration that they could dive your AD carry. Like it's a bit unfortunate if you are lagging and like DCing this game, but it's just keep in mind like the core concepts don't take into account the fact that you may be lagging and stuff. Said you on your ults, that's an interesting interaction. Warwick ulti's out. Okay, so there, you basically try to queue the Warwick as he ulted out, which I mean, I think it was slightly after, but you need to, like, you don't know where the top laner is, so again, as just Janna, you just need to focus on keeping your team like alive almost. So holding that tornado to counter and engage, opposed to just getting a knock up or something if possible. Bot lane comes. Okay, so that was a nice ulti. See, like that's exactly how you meant to use Janna's ulti. Basically you've just negated the Leona engage there. But unfortunate that, okay, so basically how it works is if you ult before the E connects to you, it won't cancel the Leona's engage. So it was a bit unfortunate, but it was the right idea. You just gotta work on the timing. So basically it needs to connect and then you bounce them back, opposed to you bounce them back and then the E hits you anyway, because she gets displaced but her ability doesn't. Okay, so that's a bit spicy. Okay, so like, I mean, there was two options here for Tristana. Tristana could have gone for that kill just on the Twitch, which is fine. Or she could have just altered the guy spawning Rift to cancel the Rift, which probably would have been better. Yeah, because you don't even get the kill on that, and they have Rift now, so you could have cancelled the Rift. Well, not you, but the Tristana could have cancelled the Rift and then just backed out. And Tristana just survives for that. Speed it up so you're alive again. Yeah, check item build quickly. So you've opted to go for the Eye of the Watchers and Fairy Charm. So basically, like at the current meta, like from what I've seen majority of the time, unless you're playing with the relic, like the green support item, you don't really want to upgrade straight into the Eye of the Watchers or like one of those items. Excuse me, you basically want to just get the Spell Thieves and then upgrade it to the upgrade of the Spell Thieves, can't remember the name is. And then from there you build your Ardent Sense or your Redemption or whatever you like planning on building, because you're still getting wards for free basically. It's not like before you have to get the Sightstone to get the Vision. So it's not necessarily like you have to actually finish the quest as well before the item activates properly. So rather get the upgrade from the Spell Thieves and then build your first item, a proper item like your Ardent or your Redemption or something. You're gonna have more like combat stats while doing that, opposed to just being tanky. Okay, so this is a bit greedy. You're walking into their jungle without any idea where they are. Like you have literally no vision here, so you can get caught out. Like if Jax was in this brush, you're just 100% dead. Like, or you have to burn a flash or something. So don't try not to do this. Rather, if you have to, just ward like here or something, or here, and then back away, or like go ask your jungler if he's upside to ward with you, because then like it's a bit safer as 2 opposed to 1. Like you can't be going for this pink. Like this, there's no situation where this pink, like going for this pink is acceptable, because you have no idea where any of their team is. And okay, well, you've got a pink here, but like Jax walks through here. If Jax was better, he would have just straight up walked here and killed you. So this is very coin flippy. I don't like that. Like everything needs to be calculated, like risk versus reward. Is it really worthwhile trying to commit to that ward and potentially dying? So you're back, you swap out your trinket, cool. Shield just done for the damage, that's cool. Ward, that's fine. Warding dragon before it spawns, that's nice. Like that's what you should have been doing earlier. So like you're doing a lot of the things that you need to be doing, just not potentially at like the most optimal times. Like rotating mid, which is fine. Like to be honest, Tristana probably could have just gone for that bot turret, because you're gonna lose that mid turret anyway. You can't be walking through like this. If anything, you should have just stood here, popcorned over like that, and then walked through. But you can't be coming through here when they've got basically mid lane priority. Okay, cool. So you're going for that ward, which is not the worst thing. I said you want, he's quite close. So you got your bot. Cool, so you're probably building into Redemption or Ardent Sensor, which is fine. Warded there, that's nice. Okay, again, so going into this team fight, you just need all like the situation, you just be aware that you're basically just acting as peel. You're trying to disengage whenever they try to engage. Don't waste a tornado unless it's as a reactionary like block almost. So like if Warwick ulties, if a block jumps in, if Leona E's in, if Jax jumps in, those are the situations where you want to try use your Q or your ulti. Like walking up here is quite dangerous as well, because Leona could have just ulted and they could have committed to you or something if their team was closer. You do have reasonable vision and stuff, but it's still risky. Like you're playing a squishy support, you need to play accordingly. Can't really be face checking brushes like you're a tank. Again, that's risky, but you do have your team behind you, but you could have even picked there if they were standing in that brush. Okay, so you're waiting for your AD carry. You guys are gonna get control vision, which is cool. That's good. I like how you see, like, this is what I meant earlier, where you wait for your teammate, or you ask your teammate to come ward with me, basically, because it's a lot more safe as 2 opposed to 1. So again, you're doing like the right things, but just not at the optimal times all the time. And just being consistent with these things is what's gonna help you win more games in climb. That and trying to 1-trick or 2-trick champions. Okay, so backing here is not efficient. You should have backed before when you try to recall if you were to back. You've just... Okay, you basically just replenished your wards, if anything. But like if your team got engaged on there, you wouldn't be there to disengage, and that would be quite game changing. Okay, so it's a bit slower. The owner goes to the E. I really like the fact that you walked forward and then walked back. Like that's something you could have been doing in laning phase to just bait after the owner's E. And if she does get into range, you could just bounce her off with the Q. Like a double tap on Q will cancel her engage. Shielding Ogre, which is fine. He's frontlining. Yeah, so there's no real reason for you to be attacking the minion wave there. Should rather just stand slightly behind like you were in any phase and shield just under that herd turret. Actors disengage, you can't be walking around that side. If the owner or Warwick or better, they would have immediately just ulted you or flash stunned you or something like that, and you would have been caught. Okay, so again, just stand next to your AD carry so you can disengage if they were to engage. It's all about it being as efficient as possible, so immediately cancelling the Warwick ulti opposed to when Tristana's on like half health or something, and that all comes down to positioning and decision making. So you opted it back, which is fine. See if you actually bought anything or just got wards. So in a situation you should have bought a pink, definitely. Even if you don't have enough gold, you tell your pots get a pink. Place that pink like here or something, because that prevents them from putting a ward over. So like basically just in front of this rock here, because that covers this area here and prevents them from warding there and denying them vision so that they can't commit like as easily without making it a bit more coin flippy. You step forward here, ward it over again, which is okay because your team's here. If they were here, it's not likely for them to engage. Okay, so you've opted to ward here. Like this is a bit more risky in that they could have all been in this brush and you could have just immediately been caught. Like it didn't happen this time, but you could have been punished for it, and that's something you need to be aware of, that the risk versus the reward is not worth throwing the game. Like here, this is what I meant. This is exactly what I meant here. They could have that could have happened right here. It's just not worth the risk because now it's a 4v5 and they could potentially break up your base. There's no need to be walking here unless you have, like I said, Giovanni or something with you, and then they can basically go through first and you can ward safely. But that's exactly what I meant, where you're gonna get punished. So speed up the game. Okay, Warwick picks up his 4th dragon of the game, which is not good. Where'd you go? Okay, well, downlight failed. So basically that's just a few concepts that you need to keep in mind when you're playing support. Doesn't matter which support necessarily, but it's the same things that apply to majority of the supports. So just to recap: positioning in laning phase, optimal times to ward, tracking the enemy jungler, not face checking brushes but sticking with your, like someone else, like making a 2-man squad to go ward efficiently, roams when it's appropriate to roam and versus which matchups, and how to like risk versus reward when it comes to warding and creating vision. Cool. So I hope this is helpful.